A NATO radar screen suddenly goes dark during a live flight. No error, no jamming, nothing. Something has just vanished from the sky. Analysts freeze. Generals lean forward. One says quietly, "It's airborne." Russia has built something no one expected. Not an upgrade, but a new bomber. A ghost. The PAK-DA can carry 30 tons, fly over 12,000 kilometers, and stay invisible to radar. It can strike first before anyone even knows it's there. For years, the B-2 Spirit ruled the sky without a rival. But while the West debated budgets, Russia moved fast. Now, the balance of power has changed, and this time, NATO is the one catching up. This is not a Cold War memory. This is modern hypersonic warfare. One bomber, one flight, and defenses may not react in time. Today, we'll break down the PAK-DA, how it flies, what it carries, and why the Pentagon is suddenly alarmed. Because this bomber could change everything, and the countdown has already begun. It's a quiet night inside a NATO radar room. Operators sit at their stations, watching the screens. The coffee on the table has gone cold. Everything looks normal, until one signal blinks out. The dot disappears. No alarm, no error message, just silence. That's not a malfunction. That's the PAK-DA, built to vanish. For years, Western defense systems worked on one rule: see first, react fast. But what happens when the enemy can't be seen? When the threat is already here before it shows on radar? The PAK-DA uses a flying wing design. No tail, no sharp edges. Its smooth surface bounces radar waves away. The body is made from composite materials that absorb signals. Its engines are hidden to reduce heat and noise. Even the exhaust is cooled to block infrared detection. Every part is made to stay invisible. The B-2 Spirit once made others blind. Now Russia is giving that blindness back to the West. But stealth is only half the story. Because once you can't see it, you must ask, what is it carrying? Inside the PAK-DA's bay are over 30 tons of weapons. Cruise missiles, bunker busters, and glide vehicles fill its load. It is not a transport plane. It is built to deliver attacks from distance. Each missile is designed to travel far and strike fast. The aircraft can release them while staying thousands of kilometers away. By the time radar detects movement, the missiles are already in the air. That is the real concern for every defense network. The PAK-DA can carry the KH-101 cruise missile with a 5,500 kilometer range. It can also deploy the KH-102, which is nuclear capable. Future versions may hold the Kinjal, a hypersonic weapon reaching Mach 10. These are not meant for display. They are meant to remind others what modern warfare looks like. You wouldn't see the bomber, and you wouldn't hear the launch. Only the impact would confirm what happened. That's why this aircraft raises global alarm, not pride. Because hypersonic weapons don't just fly fast. They change direction mid-flight, and no one yet knows how to stop what they can't predict. Hypersonic missiles aren't just fast. They change direction while flying. They can dodge interceptors and shift paths mid-air. That makes normal defense systems almost useless. The target can't prepare for what it can't predict. Traditional missile defense depends on steady flight paths, but hypersonic weapons break that rule completely. They zigzag, dive, and reappear where no one expects. By the time a radar locks on, the missile has already moved. The Kinjal travels at Mach 10, around 12,000 kilometers per hour. It can fly over 2,000 kilometers while carrying a large warhead. The Zircon moves at Mach 8 and can hold nuclear or standard payloads. Both are made to defeat interception through unpredictable flight. That's the real advantage. Not speed, but maneuvering at high speed. A hypersonic weapon launched from the PAK-DA could reach its target within minutes. Radar crews wouldn't even finish their coffee before the strike. But speed and stealth alone don't make it unstoppable. There's one more factor that turns it into a global concern: range. And that's where the PAK-DA changes the entire map. Range is more than a number. It's freedom of reach. The PAK-DA can fly over 12,000 kilometers without refueling. That means Moscow to Washington, Moscow to London, even Moscow to Asia, in one flight. It can complete a mission and return home without needing help. No forward bases, no refueling stops, no extra support. Just one bomber, one route, and no warning. That's what makes it a strategic problem, not just a weapon. For comparison, the B-2 Spirit can fly around 11,000 kilometers. The new B-21 Raider is expected to reach similar distance, though its range is still classified. The PAKDA matches and possibly exceeds, but both. It's like a chess piece that can move from any square to any target. That's the level of freedom it adds to the Russian arsenal. For global defense planners, that means longer reach and shorter warning times. But here's what changes the picture. It's not only about how far it can fly. The real question is how much it costs to make one. And that's where the comparison turns alarming. The PAK-DA costs around $160 million per unit. That may sound high, but it's far lower than its Western rivals. The B-2 Spirit cost about $700 million back in the 1990s. The new B-21 Raider is estimated near $750 million today. By comparison, the PAK-DA looks like a budget weapon built for scale. That difference changes how each side plans. The US could only afford to build 21 B-2s, too costly to risk in active missions. But if Russia can build dozens of PAK-DAs, that shifts the balance of air power. At this price, they could make 50 or more bombers for what America spends on one B-21 fleet. More aircraft means more targets to track and more pressure on NATO defenses. This isn't about luxury. It's about volume and reach. Russia's lower cost comes from sanctions forcing it to build everything domestically. No foreign parts, no outside contracts, just local production. That makes it simpler, faster, and cheaper to produce. But the PAK-DA isn't flying alone in this plan, because Russia didn't just build a bomber. It built an entire system around it. The PAK-DA is not flying alone. It is part of a bigger team made for one job: to break defenses. Beside it are Su-57 stealth jets, each costing around $40 to $45 million. They clear the sky so the bomber can move safely. Then come the MiG-31 Foxhounds, flying at Mach 2.8 speed. They go after radar planes and fuel tankers that help NATO watch the skies. At the same time, electronic planes jam radars and GPS signals. This is not one weapon. It is a team attack, made to confuse and overload any defense. On the ground, S-400 and S-500 air defense systems protect Russian airspace. Each one costs around $500 million and can hit targets up to 600 kilometers away. From the sea, Caliber missiles fire from submarines, each costing about $1 to $1.5 million. It's like defending a castle, while arrows, rams, and sneaky attackers all hit at once. No defense can handle everything at the same time, and the money game gets bad fast. When one $1 million missile makes you fire a $3 million interceptor, you have to ask, who is really winning? The PAK-DA was not made from pride. It came from failure and embarrassment. In 1991, during the Gulf War, US stealth jets flew past Soviet-made defenses like they weren't even there. In 1999, over Kosovo, B-2 bombers hit targets again and again while Russian missiles couldn't stop them. Moscow watched and learned a hard lesson. Speed wasn't enough. Big payloads weren't enough. To be respected again, Russia needed stealth, the one thing only the West had. The old Tu-160 White Swan could fly Mach 2, but radar could spot it easily. The Tu-95 Bear could travel across continents, but it was slow and visible. Neither could survive against modern air defenses. It was like bringing a sword to a gunfight. Brave, but outdated. Russia needed something different. Something that could hide, not just fight. So the engineers asked one dangerous question. What if we remove their only advantage? That question started the PAK-DA project. A bomber made not from confidence, but from correction. Because for Russia, this was never just about power. It was about redemption. By the late 2000s, Russia began the PAK-DA project with one clear goal: to replace every old bomber with one new aircraft built to survive and strike anywhere. It was meant to end the Cold War era and start a new generation of long-range stealth bombers. The work moved slowly and quietly. Sanctions made parts hard to get. Budgets were cut. Technology often fell behind. But Russia kept building in silence, step by step. The first prototype is now under construction. The first flight is expected in the late 2020s. Full service could begin in the early 2030s. The design is a subsonic flying wing. No tail, no sharp edges. Its smooth surface and composite skin absorb radar waves. Engines are buried deep to hide their heat and sound. Every part of it is made to stay unseen. Like the B-2 and B-21, it uses fly-by-wire computers to stay stable while flying in stealth mode. But this design isn't just about engineering. It's also a message to the world. We're coming. You may not see us. And when you do, it's already too late. The PAKDA has one clear job: to hit important targets from far away and disappear before anyone reacts. Its main role is strategic deterrence, to remind others that striking back is always an option. But it's also built for many missions: long-range raids, precision attacks, and electronic warfare support. It's designed to fit into any role Russia needs. Unlike the old Tu-160, which used speed to survive, the PAKDA uses stealth and range. It doesn't try to outrun missiles. It tries to avoid being seen at all. That's how it stays alive. The crew is small. Just 2 pilots inside a digital glass cockpit. Its avionics connect to satellites, fighters, submarines, and air defense systems. That makes the PAKDA more than a bomber. It's a flying command center in the sky. Every move it makes can guide or support other units in real time. It's like a quarterback running the game while staying invisible on the field. That's what makes it a serious strategic concern, not just another jet. Because for decades, the B-2 Spirit had no rival. But now, the balance on the battlefield is starting to change. China is building the H-20. America is preparing the B-21 Raider. And now Russia is rolling out the PAKDA. The age of stealth monopoly is finished. For 30 years, the B-2 Spirit ruled the skies alone. It was unmatched, untouchable, and feared. But that era is over. The sky is now filled with new shadows, and the West no longer holds all the cards. The PAKDA still faces many problems: sanctions, limited access to parts, and gaps in technology. But if Russia manages to overcome them, the balance resets. Because a stealth bomber that's cheaper, invisible, and armed with hypersonic missiles changes everything. The B-21 Raider may lead for now, but the gap is closing fast. The East is catching up in speed, stealth, and reach, and that changes how every country plans its defense and response. This is not a simple upgrade race anymore. It's a power shift, quiet, steady, and global. Each new bomber is more than a machine. It's a message, a sign that the Cold War lessons were never forgotten. What's happening now is not competition, it's revenge. For every radar failure, every missed target, and every invisible strike from the past. And that revenge is no longer in the planning stage. It's already in motion, flying under the radar, waiting for the moment when the world looks up and realizes the sky no longer belongs to one side. The PAKDA is more than a bomber. It's a signal, a warning, and a shift in power. When it flies, the message is clear. The sky no longer belongs to one flag. For decades, the West believed stealth was its exclusive weapon. But Russia didn't ask for permission. They didn't wait for approval or allies. They just built the Ghost and let it speak for itself. Complacency has always been the quiet enemy of great powers. While the West argued and delayed, the underdog kept working. Now that underdog has taken flight. Somewhere in Moscow, an engineer watches his aircraft vanish into the clouds. No parade, no speech, just the sound of quiet redemption. In the Pentagon, a screen flickers. A general leans forward and whispers, "It's real." The radar flickers again, not a glitch, not an error, just silence. The shadow arrives before the sound, and by the time you hear it, it's already gone. The question now isn't if the PAKDA will change the game. It's whether the world is ready for a future where no one stays unseen, where deterrence is shared, and the ghost we created now haunts us back. The age of stealth monopoly is over. The PAKDA shows that power adapts, evolves, and always returns. What was once failure in 1991 has turned into determination in 2024, and that determination has now taken flight. This isn't just about military technology. It's a lesson in patience, innovation, and the danger of underestimating rivals. The board has reset, and the game now belongs to whoever stays ready. If this shift in air power gave you chills, like the video. If you want to stay ahead of the next global surprise, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the skies are changing, and we're here to track every shadow. So tell us in the comments, is the PAKDA a real threat or just propaganda? Let's talk about it. And remember, YouTube doesn't hand out air superiority without a fight. Stay sharp, stay curious. See you next time.